Hello everyone, welcome back to Music Forever. I'm JG and today we're going to be doing a review for the new Paul White EP featuring Danny Brown, Accelerator. To think I almost forgot to review this. It's not because I didn't want to review it or anything like that, it's just because that the EP was released under Paul White's name, who I was unfamiliar with. If you're unaware of who he is, he produced a lot of the tracks on Danny Brown's last album, Atrocity Exhibition, which was one of my favorite albums of last year. It made my top 10 list, which you should go check out when you're done watching this video here. So when I found out that he made this EP, which consists of 4 tracks, though really only 2 songs, it's the two actual songs that feature Danny Brown rapping, and then there's 2 instrumental versions of those tracks. So really, you're kind of getting 2 songs here, but you're getting the normal version and the instrumental version that you could check out. Because I was such a big fan of Danny Brown's last project and I heard he was on this, I decided to check this out, and fortunately I do happen to really like this EP. It reminds me a lot of Atrocity Exhibition in a sense because after all it is Danny Brown rapping on the tracks. It has had the same producer that produced much of that album. However, these 2 tracks are slightly different. I don't think they quite fit onto Atrocity Exhibition with the concept of that album. These tracks have a bit of a different concept, and maybe that's why they weren't included on that album, or maybe these were just leftover tracks that they didn't think were good enough to make the album and they were just released separately. I don't know, but regardless, I enjoy these tracks, so I don't really care why they weren't released until now. Now, the first of the 2 tracks here, the title track Accelerator, seems to could have fit on Atrocity Exhibition a bit more than the other track on here, because it has to deal with Danny Brown kind of losing his mind because of drugs, of course, a common reoccurring theme throughout all of his music. And it's just kind of, he's talking about losing his mind. If you haven't watched the music video for the song, it's about a guy chasing after his brain, kind of course, referring to that losing your whole mind kind of aspect. And it's a pretty funny music video, so you should check that out. And another thing I really liked about this song is that not just the beats overall in this project are great, though especially this song there's one part where it's almost like a guitar solo in a sense, because the vocals aren't there and it just kind of goes into the instrument, which is a guitar. And it's not like some kind of flashy guitar solo that you would hear in metal music or something like that. It's just more subdued, but at the same time really interesting and effective. And it kind of breaks away from the rapping for a moment to give you a taste of Paul White's abilities. And Paul White's production is something I really want to stress here, because just as it was on Atrocity Exhibition, it's phenomenal here, and the 2 instrumental versions of the songs are kind of there, I guess, to further solidify this fact. I think this also kind of goes back to the fact that the EP was released under his name, featuring Danny Brown, as opposed to Danny Brown kind of just like any other collection of unreleased songs or something like that, where the producer isn't really listed in the title. So that's really why I think that his name was kind of the center point of this project. Now, the second of these 2 songs, Lion's Den, I also think is a good song. I don't like it quite as much as the first song, but I still think it's a good track. It has Danny rapping about growing up in Detroit and all the stuff that kind of went along with that. I'm not going to go into too much detail. You can check it out yourself, which I highly recommend. It's overall a good track, not as good as the first one, though I really do like the beat on this track. I think I like the beat more than the beat on the first song, and the instrumental version kind of was a good way to kind of hear it on its own without the rapping, and kind of a nice way to immerse yourself into the beat. So yeah, I overall thought that this EP was pretty good. I mean, it's not as good as a full album or anything, but then again, we just got Atrocity Exhibition only a few months ago, so I'm not really going to complain. For a collection of possibly unreleased songs, or maybe leftovers, or maybe just new stuff kind of in the same style as something that they recently did, I think this is overall pretty good. And I would highly recommend listening to this if you're a fan of Danny Brown, especially Atrocity Exhibition, or I'm not really familiar with Paul White's other projects that he's done without Danny Brown, but I guess this is probably similar in some way considering that he made it, so yeah. And I'd also recommend listening to these instrumental tracks along with the version with the rapping in them, because they, as I said before, they really do kind of bring out a whole new they kind of flesh out a whole new texture to the song that you really might not notice when you're just listening to it with the rapping. So that was my review of this EP. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We have some more music related content coming soon, more reviews, lists, song analysis, all kinds of cool stuff like that. So I would greatly appreciate your support. Leave a comment if you want to say something about this EP, that maybe something I didn't mention. And overall, stay golden.